So I've never done one of these monologue podcasts, but I figured why not? I had an amazing week last week, and I just wanted to just share some thoughts with you guys. Spent a ton of time in the mountains just reflecting, rode horsebacks about, I guess it was just 2 times, and in the forest I found some clarity, and I think it's just a great opportunity to share it with you guys. And so I start with the first thing, and it's called for forgiveness, right? I've been holding on to some stuff for a really long time from people who were super close to me, who I never really thought would hurt me, and ended up doing so. And, feeling like you were stole from, feeling like you were lied on. All of those things just become extremely painful. And it turns into cancer if you hold on to them. And so I was talking to one of my mentors, and he's like, you're stuck in the stuff that you're stuck in because you just haven't let go. It doesn't really matter what the other people did. It's what you do. And it took me back to a lesson of mine that I picked up back in like 2010, before much of this stuff happened. And it's when I realized that you have a choice. Nobody decides what you have to do. Nobody made you do anything. They chose to do what they were going to do, and you get to respond to what they did. And a lot of people don't want to hear that. I tell people, hey, you make a choice to move on. Nobody can do anything to make you get over it. It's really just on you to make that decision that, hey, I'm over this. It's time to move on. There's no prescribed amount of time. None of that stuff, right? And so, point number one, and I don't actually know how many points we're going to have because I'm freestyling this, is you've got to make that choice that regardless of what happens, you're going to do the best thing that you can do for the given situation. And in the end, holding a grudge, being upset, expecting somebody to come back and make it right, none of those things is actually putting you in a place of empowerment. In fact, it's making you a slave to the situation. So, on that ride, this was the first horseback ride, I forgave them. And it was 2 people in particular who I was thinking about, and I realized that I just carried that burden for far too long. And it was most important for me to let that go. And I felt free afterwards. Situations to resolve all this stuff isn't completely over, and I'm sure I'll have some recidivism, some flashbacks, but at my core, I truly forgave them, because I think when people are clinging to what they think is their lives, they do irrational things. And so, had some other amazing events happen over the next few days, and then I found myself back on the top of Clingman's Dome, and this is one of the highest points in the Smoky Mountains. And I was there with 3 of my favorite people in the world, 3 of the 5 or 6 people, and I just took it all in awe. And it was their first time there, and they were shocked and amazed, and the wows and the oohs and the ahs of this spectacular sight. And it was like, I thought you could only see this type of stuff from an airplane. And, for me, helping people explore and grow is where I feel my life calling is. And so to be able to expose people that I care so deeply about to an experience like that was so rewarding. It was more rewarding than making money, or just about anything else that I can think of. And in that, it kind of confirmed the decision that I made a couple of days earlier, where I was like, well, let me forgive these folks. And then, because I didn't have that dragging along with me, I was in this new place where I could just be present with the people that I was with, and not be thinking about, oh, well, this happened and I got to strategize how to do about that, or I need to make sure that I'm not exposed here because of X, Y, and Z. And so that experience was phenomenal. just because I felt like I was actually walking in my purpose. And then on the way back, we jumped on some more horses and went up into the mountainside, and it was there that I found clarity. I found clarity on that piece of, hey, people do irrational things, they're clinging to their last. You shouldn't fight over things that aren't really yours anyway, right? And so it's like, well, what am I going to do different now that I've made that decision, that I'm not going to fight over things that in the grand scheme of things are probably crumbs. It's from the lifetime earnings of me and the ventures that I'm tied to. And this one was hard for me. It was super hard. I decided that I was just going to let it go, right? I was going to meet whatever obligations and commitments I needed to make. And I wasn't going to worry about if there was going to be enough or where the source was going to replenish what I had in my control. And I think we have to be really careful with that word control, because I think at our highest point, we're managers, right? We're managing the resources that have been shared with us. And if done right, we'll be able to make those things grow. And, once we've shown that we're able to manage something, then we're given more to manage. And so, we come back down the hill, and it's not really a hill, it's a mountain. And we hit a muddy patch, and I'm getting the mud all over my shoes and on my calves, and I don't have anywhere to go. I'm sitting on the back of a horse called King Kong. And it's there that I realized, like, you just have to surrender to the process. You can fight, you can struggle, but in that fight and struggle, you probably end up hurting yourself or doing more damage than whatever the discomfort is of being in the process and walking through that uncomfortable place. And so I submitted, and we made it through, and it wasn't terrible. It was just, oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't want the mud on me. I don't know if there's any horse poop mixed in with this mud, and some of that other stuff where we could create this story where the world is coming to an end and we don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to fix it. And I think that's part of the problem, is we're trying to figure out how we're going to fix it instead of engaging in the process, being present in the discomfort, seeing our way through it, and then coming out on the other side with a new lesson. And so I don't know if this is helpful for anybody out there, but I just wanted to drop those 3 points on you with the hope that it will help you, especially if you're down in a tough spot right now. And so I'm going to sign off now. In case you don't know, your dreams should be real. And now that I've told you that, you are absolutely responsible for delivering that. We'll talk soon.